Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 290 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today I wanted to talk about the good old money. Money, 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 money. What is what do you think people should get paid for wrestling? Now, I know there's different scales of people, where you are on the card and how many tickets you sell. I know all that, but I also wanted to debate it because most people, when they first start out in wrestling, they're paying their dues and they're just happy to get on the card. They're not charging very much at all, or sometimes they work for free. It depends who trained them, what the deal was, and whatnot, and how they go about doing their business. And then also, a lot of the wrestlers have another job. So wrestling is just a little bit of extra cash. And most of the wrestlers are doing it because they love doing it. Now, to be quite honest, wrestling is like my favorite thing in the whole world. And if I had the choice, if someone said to me, you could either never wrestle again or only wrestle for free, I would probably wrestle for free just because I love it so much. But I mean, it's not worth putting your body at risk and on the line for nothing. But I'm just saying, that's like, I really do love it. But I want to know, when do you get to a point where you think that you can deserve a raise? And then also, some wrestlers, or most wrestlers, would love to do this full time and not have to have another job where their job could just be wrestling. When do they get to that point where they're saying, I deserve to get paid this because, one, I'm worth it, and two, because this is my only source of income? Because then also you're kind of cutting yourself off there, because a lot of promoters are going to say, well, I'll just get the cheaper guys then. Because not a lot of these promotions have a lot of money, the smaller promotions anyway, so they can't afford to bring in a lot of names unless for sure it's going to sell the tickets that they're paying them and more, because they don't want to just break even. So is there like a certain amount of years you think that you have to go, or if you're with a promoter and you've done a bunch of shows, when is the right time you feel that you could say, hey, do you think I could get a couple extra dollars? Most promoters will allow you to sell your merchandise at the show, so that can pad your pockets a bit. And then some of the promotions, people want to be in so bad, so they will drop their going rate. And people say, well, I have a going rate of what I charge. And some people really do stick to that rate. They want that or better. And some people say they have this rate, yet they never really actually get it. They usually just say, well, this is what I charge, to have the locker room talk amongst the boys and girls. But yet they're never actually getting that. And certain people will also drop their rates if there's opportunity. If it's a certain promotion, they want to get their foot in the door. Like, if someone gave you a tryout for WWE and they didn't want to pay you any money, would you still take it? Most people would, because it's a chance to make more money down the road. And it's really hard nowadays to ask for too much, because there's so many students that are coming in and new wrestlers who are going to charge less than you, and some of them are even better wrestlers for you. And to me, my opinion is, if you're selling tickets, you're worth it. If there's people actually paying money to come and see you specifically, then you are worth your money. I figured, like, it is a business, right? Like, so if you're making money for the company, you deserve to get paid what you deserve for doing that, right? And a lot of wrestlers will share on their social media upcoming shows and stuff like that, and some will even do promos. Should those people get paid more because they're trying to, or they go and put up posters? Well, it depends. Are you a first-year wrestler, or have you been doing it 10 years? Does that matter? What if someone started wrestling and they've only done like 6 matches, but they have an amazing look and people are going crazy, the fans are going nuts for them and everyone loves them, and people are buying tickets just to see them? Should they charge more than someone that's been wrestling for 10 years? Well, technically, yeah, they're selling more tickets, they're making the company more money, so I get that. And then also, a lot of times, promoters will book people based on the amount of tickets they sell. And I don't mean I'm paying because I want to see this person. I mean because they're out there at their other jobs, or they're going to businesses and they're trying to sell tickets and they're going to their friends and family. So they may not be a wrestler, they just may be a manager or a ring crew, but they want to be a part of the show, so they go and sell 30 tickets. Do you let them be a part of your show? Because those 30 people that bought tickets from them kind of want to see them because they bought it because they're like, oh, what? You're involved in wrestling? I would love to come see you. So here's my money. Well, they just sold like $500 worth of tickets. Would you not put them on the show? But what if they're not trained? And money is a really tight thing in wrestling. And I commend those people that really go for it and try and make this their full-time job. But it's also really a gamble, and it depends on your situation. Um, if you have to pay your own rent and or if you have like a family to support, it's really like if the gamble pays off, then obviously it's worth it. But if you are people are relying on you to make sure, I don't think you should take that gamble unless you have a guarantee. Then I guess it's not really a gamble, is it? But if you want to make a go of it, be smart. Move back in with your parents. Like do whatever you can to cut costs so that that you can go all in and go for it, because the more you invest in yourself and like invest by saying not getting a lot of money for wrestling or going really far to somewhere to wrestle and you're getting $50 but the gas costs you $40. Well, it's worth it if it's opening more doors for you. Obviously, that's what I mean by investing in yourself. But it's just a really tough business nowadays, and people don't like to talk about it. Like, it's kind of one of those things, like I remember back in the day when I asked my dad who he voted for, and he's like, you don't ask me that, that's rude. And I was like, oh wow. It's kind of like the same thing. A lot of people will not talk about, hey, what are you getting paid? Hey, what are you getting paid? And sometimes maybe they should, because then it's like, wait a minute, this guy's in the main event and he's getting paid less than what this guy's getting paid. Like, sometimes the boys got to come together, but then also if the boys and the girls, and the boys and the girls come together and lash out against these promotions, and the promotions are like, I can't afford it, I won't make any money. Like, we also got to be grateful that all these promotions, even if they're just making a couple dollars enough to get by to do another show, at least we have somewhere to work. And then you have your resume, you have videos you can send to people, you have people saying, oh, he was a good wrestler. And then it's really like the circle of life almost thing. Like, you want the promotions to pay the wrestlers more, but if they pay the wrestlers more and they're not making money, then the promotions aren't there for the wrestlers to get work. But like I said, when does it come a point where you can just start to demand more money? Or any of the things that I discussed on the show, what is your take on it? Or if there's anything that I didn't mention, like, have you ever had someone tell you they pay this much, and then you get to the show and they're like, well, we didn't do so good. Is there any way I could pay a little bit less? And you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I drove all this way, I broke my elbow in the match, and now you want to pay me less? So let's hear what you guys have to say about the whole money issue. It might not get a lot of comments because, like I said, people they will talk about it, but they won't say, hey, this is what I charge. A lot of people won't. Some people don't care, and they will. And everyone deserves to have the way they feel about that, if it's private or it should be public or whatnot. But let's hear from you guys. As always on the Lulu Show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!